Now we look at the race analysis for today's event here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. 500 miles. It is a long one. 200 laps around this 2.5-mile triangle. Pit road speed today, 55 miles an hour.
And somebody will get nailed on that today. This place is so hard to get. The pit lane is so long, and it's hard to stay at 55. And there'll be some guys getting busted for speeding.
It's so long, and as you come out of turn 3, you actually get out on the straightaway almost still at full throttle. Then you have to bring it down. So it's not like at most racetracks where you dive off in the corner, never pick back up the gas, you just drop her down on the apron and come in. These guys are going to have to go from full song to nothing.
And you'll see a lot of guys locking up tires, getting to that first pit, that pit cone. You'll see a lot of smoke down there in the entry of pit lane.
We've seen that cone end up in the middle of the racetrack on numerous occasions, and it may happen again today.
In the front row this afternoon, Kurt Busch, a 2-time winner at this racetrack, got his first Pocono pole here yesterday. Paul Menard, very good throughout this weekend, earning a front row starting spot, his best of the year. As they come off turn 3, the pace car will hit pit road, and we are set for NASCAR on TNT. Yes, it is time to crank it up a notch. We're ready to roll in the 5-hour Energy 500. The green flag in the air, and we are underway in Pennsylvania.
Good start by Paul Menard right there, man.
Big wide racetrack. Jamie McMurray taking advantage, pulling out of line into turn 1. Kurt Busch jumping quickly out front.
Yeah, it looks like Hamlin's got a good run up on the high side as well as Jeff Gordon.
Look at him in the back there, already 3 and 4 wide. This tunnel turn won't take 3 and 4 wide.
Man, look at the drivers that are back there. Jeff Burton, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Greg Biffle. You better get aggressive early and often. Denny Hamlin already up to second. There goes Carl Edwards to the inside of Jeff Gordon for a position. That 4th in the running order.
And a couple of years ago, we saw him repave turn 3 here, where you absolutely had, in turn 3, you had that extra grip out there. We saw guys right there going to the bottom. The grip's kind of equalized. I think it's still out there, but it's a little bit equalized as we see Denny Hamlin, where he's left off here on so many occasions going to the front.
Some things change about this racetrack. One thing that does not, that number 11 car out front. It took him 1 lap. Denny Hamlin, the race leader. Kurt Busch, Paul Menard, Jeff Gordon, Carl Edwards, the top 5. You're right on board with the pole sitter and look back at Paul Menard. You know, the sleeper in this whole thing may very well be your pick in the pre-race today, Wally. Jeff Gordon just kind of laying in the weeds this weekend.
Well, he's already in a good position. He started up front, which is good. Whenever he usually has a good qualifying run here, he's tough all day long. You know, it's going to get down to when you start putting laps on these tires and these things start sliding around. That's when you're going to see the guys who have got good setups and not. Usually the first 5 or 6 laps, everybody's very, very even.
That was a good shot coming down the front stretch there. Somebody was trying to run Kyle Busch all the way to the inside of the racetrack, trying to block at that point. And you have to this early in the race. You've got a couple of laps that you can get the good out of these tires, and you've got to pass these guys. So you've got to protect your position at this point.
And all of these drivers know at lap 20 today, there will be a competition caution. If you pit before that, you can do what you want to the car with the exception of fueling it. So that's when the strategy will begin.
And something else here. These guys are, there's Harvick, 29. But one thing you got to look at is a tire deal too. You don't want to kill your tires up too bad. Here's what Kyle was referring to earlier, and that's the Childress team and Kyle Busch. I believe they've had some trouble in the past.
A little familiar, but you see, you know, Kevin runs him all the way down. Kevin's trying to protect that position. Kyle's trying to take it. But as we saw, Kevin ended up back in front of him.
Actually run him through the water.
Yeah,
There's still some water down there somewhere.
Oh, Kevin a little sideways off the corner.
Yeah, and Kyle got a really good run up off that corner. And Kevin took him all the way to the end of pit road.
And do that 1 or 2 more times. I don't think Kyle's going to be as nice about it.
And here's Kyle going around him on the outside. And I think, and it's like you say, when you have new tires and you're able to get that grip early on, you've got to maximize it. Kyle got a good run up off the corner. Kevin didn't want to give up that position. He thought he was passing somebody, but he just couldn't close the deal.
To add perspective on how difficult this racetrack is, right in front of these 2 drivers, Matt Kenseth, all 3 of them outside the top 20 in the running order. So they do have some ground to make up this afternoon.
And we talked about these guys qualifying bad earlier. As you see the 48 going around the 10th, passing the 33 here for 10th place. We talked about this earlier. Their qualifying position has got them back in the line in the lineup here. We've run, what, 4 laps? They're already almost 9 seconds behind the leader. And they're just losing ground when they're running side by side like that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Is you don't want to kill your tires too bad here, because maybe you just want to take 2. You're hoping those guys come in after 20 and put on 4. You need that track position. You want to put 2 tires on. So you just got to kind of sit back here and be cool, really, for these first 20 laps.
Jimmy Johnson looked really good here in final practice on Friday afternoon. And the 5-time champion has gone from 14th to 10th as he completed that pass of Clint Boyer. Boyer very good here 1 season ago. A little bit out to lunch in the opening practice Friday. Got things calmed down in final practice and looked good in qualifying yesterday. See Jamie McMurray right in front of Jimmy Johnson. He runs in the 9th position. Now back to a battle at the front. Kurt Busch started on the pole with Paul Menard to his outside. Denny Hamlin got around both, and now these 2 battling for the runner-up spot.
The 27's going to be good, I think, all day long. We watched him in the final practice. I was impressed with him. His car was good after 5 laps, good after 10 laps, after 15 laps. That's the thing you want to look for here at Pocono, is have a car that doesn't fall off. Have a car that's consistent, because there's a lot of other guys that are going to really fall off. And I think that 27 car, Paul Menard's, is going to be very good here today.
And we saw something right there with Paul Menard and with Kurt Busch. The give and take that it takes to get across that tunnel turn. We talk about give and take at places like Darlington and places like Speedways. But that tunnel turn is a give and take corner. You saw Kurt kind of roll out. The 27 had position. 27 goes on through the corner. If they go through there side by side, the 24 passes them with Jeff Gordon before they get to turn 3, because they have to go through there so slow.
And with 20 to go, you'll see just the opposite of what we just saw here.
It's all take and no give.
6 laps in, and one of the storylines we will follow throughout this day, those drivers that started outside the top 20, outside the top 30 in their progress to the front. Some are on the move. Kyle Busch plus 9 positions up to 25th. He's the biggest mover of the day. Dave Blaney, Greg Biffle, teammates Jeff Burton and Kevin Harvick looking good as well. No one has anything for Denny Hamlin right now. He's led over 500 laps at Pocono.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing from Pocono Raceway is brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. By the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. By USAA, proudly serving the financial needs of the military, veterans, and their families. And by Best Buy. Future-proof your technology with the buyback program. Brought to you by Best Buy.
NASCAR on TNT back at the Pocono Raceway and under caution for the first time today. Debris in turn 1. Pit road is open, and we told you in our opening segment today that there will be a competition caution at lap 20. That has not changed. We are about halfway to that point right now. You certainly can pit here,
yeah,
but you can't put fuel in the car until we get to that lap 20 competition caution strategy here.
I think you have to, you got to gamble on this. Maybe you come in and put on 4 tires now, and then just go for the fuel later. If you're in the back right now, if I'm sitting there back there and I'm a Greg Biffle or Burton or Harvick or Kenseth or any of those guys, you got to try something to get some track position, because they're way back there, and the best way to gain it is to outsmart everybody, and that's to do it on pit lane.
Yeah, and realistically, that's almost not a gamble. If they are going to continue to have the competition yellow, these guys come in, they got 4 tires. We see guys coming down pit road right now from about half pack or mid pack back, and these guys have nothing to lose. They have track position to gain in the future and the next caution when we have it, and everything, nothing to lose in this one.
Greg Biffle in front of Matt Yoakum.
Greg Biffle got the 16 car in the wall a little bit. The team will take a look at that. His bigger concern, the car absolutely pushing tight. They're going to make a significant track bar adjustment and also push into spring rubbers in the right rear spring. 4 tires, obviously no fuel for the 16 for Greg Biffle.
Tony Stewart in pit lane 2, just going to take right side rubber. Little bit of damage at the right rear of that car. He got into the wall on lap 7 coming off turn 3, sliding the car through turn 3. Everything looks good there. Ralph?
Chris, it was strictly tires for the 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's been working his way up through the field. They were feeling the car was a little bit tight, so they took 4 tires and no fuel. Made a little bit of an air pressure adjustment.
Of those drivers that made a pit stop, Casey Kane was the first to come off pit road, and a number of drivers elected to stay on the racetrack.
Okay, so I got a question for Larry. So, Larry, okay, based on I just came in now, I've got 4 tires. It's pretty important now to make sure that you put only the fuel in that you need it second-wise, right? If you're going to make a gain on me just coming in.
Well, the bottom line is this competition caution at lap 20, they're going to need about 2/3 of a load of fuel because, as you pointed out, only 28 to 32 laps. But honestly, guys, I think the reason the drivers that hit pit road that time hit it wasn't for tires. It's because they needed major adjustments on their cars like it was reported for Greg Biffle.
But even that 2/3 tank, if that's going to save you 4 seconds on fuel in the car, that's 8, 9, 10 cars
that you can get around on pit road.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And as we get set to go back green, time to check the standings in our AT&T Fastest Pit Crew Award. Here are the updated standings following last week. If you'd like to tell us who you think will be quickest today, text your vote to 234-567. AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network, getting faster with 4G. And getting faster on the restart, Kurt Busch to the inside, digging in.
Yeah. Come on, come on. I was going to say, I thought Menard was really going to get hosed on that deal, but he hung up tough and got on that outside line. If he would have got stuck in the middle, he would have went back 8 spots.
When you go 3 wide like that, I mean, Menard's in the middle. He's got Jeff. I think Jeff just checked up and said, okay, guys, have at it. I'll give you some room right here.
Again, the niceness early.
Early.
Jeff Gordon, Carl Edwards lined up to go to the outside of Kurt Busch. All 3 drivers have experienced a great deal of success here at Pocono. Gordon able to make the pass, and Edwards going to try and go with him.
Yeah, this is a long straightaway here, and if you can get lined up, there certainly is. The draft does come into play here at Pocono because look at how long that straightaway is. So you want to get in line with some people.